The Grand Tetons are old world-style backcountry, rough, rugged, and full of wildlife. Join us as we grab our fly rods and head into the mountains near Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and make our own adventure on Trailside.
Trailside is brought to you by Chevy Trailblazer, encouraging you to find your own little part of the planet.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming is probably best known for its snow and droves of loyal snow goers. But when the rivers run free and clear, a different breed of adventure heads into the mountains. In fact, fly fishing here is as good as it gets. It's so good that residents have started an annual event, the One Fly. What started out as a local event to foster sportsmanship and draw a little environmental attention to the Snake River fisheries has blossomed into a fly fishing phenomena, drawing in anglers from all over the world. I'm on my way to our team headquarters in Afton, Wyoming. I'll be joining the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation team for the One Fly event. Dave Perkins, Mark Rockefeller, Steve Pete, Nancy McKinnon. From what I hear, they're all top-notch anglers. So hopefully our team will be able to stack up against the competition. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. I'm Dave Perkins. Welcome to Wyoming.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here. What a beautiful cabin.
Thanks. Hey, let me introduce you to the rest of the team.
Okay.
Steve? Got Steve Pete.
Brian, it's great to meet you. How are you?
And
Good.
Nancy McKinnon.
Good morning, Brian. Great to have you here.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here. You know, I've always wanted to visit this place, but I figured it'd be in the wintertime.
Well, winters are great, but the best recreation is in the summertime. With all the waters that Wyoming has to offer, the fly fishing is just fantastic here.
I bet you know a few secret spots.
Oh, yeah, he sure does, but one of the finest is right here.
You know, I've really been looking forward to this. I've never fished in a tournament before.
Well, actually, Brian, the event organizers prefer to call this an event as opposed to a tournament. They really want to focus more on camaraderie, sportsmanship, environmental awareness, as opposed to competition.
So I take it all of you have fished the One Fly event before?
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's great.
That's
We'll have a lot of
terrific,
fun.
All right, looks like we got a pretty good team put together here. I can't wait to start fishing with you guys.
Well, actually, we won't get the fish together in the competition.
Why not?
What they do is split up each of the team members. So what we have in a boat is you got one guide and then two different teams.
So I'll be fishing with someone from another team?
That's right. Helps keep everybody honest, and then on the second day, you'll have yet again another competitor and another guide.
And you'll fish a different stretch of river.
I guess that keeps everything even.
I think that's a general idea, yeah.
So what stretch of the river are we going to be fishing on?
Well, come with me, I'll show you.
Okay. And while you guys do that, we can go set up some equipment, okay?
That sounds great.
Come on, Nancy.
Sounds good.
Hey, Brian, why don't you come over here? I'll show you where we're going. If you could hold that, please.
Sure.
All right, the One Fly event takes place on the Snake River just through Jackson here, Jackson,
Okay.
Wyoming. It also takes place on the South Fork of the Snake River, which is off the map over here in Idaho. You're going to be put in, as I'm aware, in Wilson on Saturday. You'll float this stretch. It's about 10 or 11 miles you'll take out at the South Park takeout. On Sunday, you'll be putting in a little bit further south at Pritchard, and you'll float again, I think about 10 or 11 miles you'll take out at I think it's called West Table Takeout.
Okay. How many teams are going to be in this event?
I believe there's 40 teams. That could mean as many as 200 contestants.
Wow, that's a lot of people. Are there any restrictions to the gear I can use?
Well, there are a few. This event is a fly fishing event. So naturally, you've got to bring a fly rod. But the rod you choose is yours. That's your choice. Some other restrictions, though, is the line. You have to use a floating line as opposed to sinking line. There could be no attractants that you put on your fly, a smell or something to bring the fish in. And also, here we're standing here by a float drift boat. It's powered by oars as opposed to motor. Motor would not be allowed in the tournament.
Okay.
But perhaps the most important rule is that you're allowed one fly each day.
I got it. Just pick one kind of fly and fish with it all day.
No, you don't understand. You get one fly, literally one fly each day. You lose a fly, you're out of the event for the day.
Wow, now I know why they call it the One Fly event. So if I lose my fly in the trees or in the rocks or in a fish's mouth, what do I do?
You're toast. You're out of the event. It sounds cruel, I know it does, but it adds a dimension I think makes this whole event pretty unique. There's been other events in the past where some of the front runners, the favored teams, had lost their flies early, and it opened up the doors to other teams, perhaps like us, might give us a chance. I tell you, it's pretty exciting. I think you'll like it.
Oh, it sounds cool. Now listen, I didn't bring a lot of gear with me. I hope you can help me out with that.
I think you're okay there too. Dave's over there setting you up right now. I'm not sure you're aware, but he's with the Orvis company, so my hunch is he knows his way around the equipment pretty well.
Well, let's go see Dave.
Let's do that. All right, Brian, why don't you come over here? Dave will take care of you. I think you're in good hands. Nancy, why don't we head down the river and see if we can catch up with Mark, what do you say?
Great idea.
All right.
Hey, Brian. Let's go over some of the equipment we need here for the one fly. Okay?
All right.
I've got a couple different types of waders. We've got the boot foot wader, the stocking foot waders. Both you'll see has the felt sole, keep you from slipping around on the rocks. I've selected for you the stocking foot waders. That way, if it gets warm, you can forgo the waders, just wet wade and carry the boots for traction.
Sure.
Hey, we've had all kinds of weather here at the one fly. We've had snow, rain, extreme heat, and everything. So carry everything: an extra fleece, a rain jacket, a long sleeve shirt for sun protection. Also important for sun protection, because we are at 6,000 feet. It's easy to get burned, so carrying sunblock and wearing that all the time. Also a hat with a visor, of course, and your polarized glasses. We've got some snacks, some water, first aid kit, always good to have in the outdoors, but your guides will carry that stuff, so it's not absolutely necessary. Let's see, let's talk about the equipment. First, let me tell you, I've got you a 9-foot 5-weight T3 rod. This should be the rod that'll make you the high scorer for us.
All right.
Okay?
My lucky rod right here.
Now, attached to the end of that fly line is our leader and tippet, and that's some of the most important equipment since we're only fishing with one fly. The tippet and leader material is most critical. So I've got the super strong 2X and 3X. It's 11-pound and 8-pound test. Hopefully so you won't lose your fly. We've got dry fly spray and floatant here, and also a fishing vest. Now, this is mine. It's got all the fly boxes and all that. Since we're fishing with only one fly, we won't need that. So, but it's still a good idea. It's a great place to keep your nippers, your forceps for releasing your fish, your dry fly floating, anything else you need really handy. Okay?
Looks like we got all the equipment we need.
I think so. And today's the practice day. All the teams are down there. Our team's down there. Let's get down there and join them.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Steve,
Oh, hey, Brian, there you are.
have you seen Dave?
Just saw them. They left. They're drifting already. They want to get their practice in.
Okay.
Say hello to your teammate, Mark.
Hey, Mark, glad to finally meet you.
Hey, Brian, nice to meet you, too. Welcome to the South Fork. This is Darren. He's going to be our guide for the day.
Hey,
Brian, nice to meet you.
Darren's one of the best guides on the South Fork, and he's also a very good friend of mine.
Well, good. I'm glad to know we're in good hands.
Hey, you guys don't mind. I'll get some practice in myself. Mark, take care of Brian. Good luck. Catch lots of fish. We'll catch up later, right?
All right.
Good luck to you.
Well, Darren, this is a very unique-looking boat.
It is, Brian. These drift boats are specifically designed for fly fishing rivers just like the South Fork. Their high sides keep us dry and allow us to handle real heavy water. And the banana-shaped boat design of the bottom of the boat allows us to get out in the heavy water, back rowing against the current. And when that happens, the water goes underneath the boat and displaces and gives us some lift, which allows us to be fairly mobile on top of the water and allows us to get you guys into good positions to cast at fish.
As long as you keep me out of the weeds and the rocks, I'm okay.
Hey, we have a deal.
So where does your gear go?
Well, there's a dry storage box underneath each one of your seats, so we'll put our rain gear and stuff like that underneath the seats in those boxes. And our fly fishing gear we usually keep on these casting decks, and most guys like to hang their vest right on the back of the seat chair here.
Okay.
So with that, why don't you go ahead and hop in and take the front of the boat, and Mark, you can hop in the back, and we'll go down and see if we can catch some fish.
Mark, I've done some lake fishing and some wade fishing from the shore, but I've never fished from a boat. Is there any special technique?
Well, Brian, I think you'll actually find that fishing from a boat's almost easier than fishing from the banks. You're not going to have to cast as far. Darren here is going to get us close to where the fish are. And the key is going to be getting your fly out into the line, out into the water, and then maintaining a drag-free float. As soon as you see that line start to pull, or as soon as you see that fly go under, you're going to want to cast again. We're going to be fishing most of the day close to the banks. You're going to want to get that fly in as tight as you can, usually about a foot or so from the bank.
Without getting it hung up in the weeds.
That's right.
You know, Mark, I've always had a challenge with setting my hook. Is there any special tricks to that?
A couple of things. The first thing is you're not going to want to rip that rod tip up when the fish comes up and takes the fly. Particularly because if you do jerk it, there's a chance you might lose it, and you only get one fly in the tournament, so you want to make sure not to do that. But other than that, it's just going to be good timing. And when you do set the hook, and when you do have a fish on, you're going to want to make sure to keep that line tight. because we are fishing with barbless hooks, and if you don't keep that line tight, that fish could shake it and spit that hook out.
Barbless hooks? How in the world do you fish with a barbless hook?
Well, Brian, that's one of the regulations of the event you're going to be fishing in over the course of the next couple days, and it's also the most fish-friendly way to fish. The couple keys to it, one is really to keep when you do set the hook on the fish, make sure you keep the line tight, because if you give that fish any slack, he's going to throw the hook on you most every time, and you'll lose the fish.
Okay.
And the other thing that's really nice about it is when we do land the fish and get it into the net, we can just simply back the hook out, and it really doesn't do any harm to the fish, and he goes on his way unharmed. So it's become a real popular way of doing it.
So when are we going to start fishing?
Well, we're in a small side channel right now, and we're heading out to the main river. So why don't we go on out there and see if we can't find some big fish.
All right. Wow, that's an incredible waterfall.
Yeah, Brian, that's Fall Creek.
So what kind of fish are we looking to catch here?
Well, the South Fork's full of German brown trout, rainbow trout, and Brian, if you're lucky, you might even catch one of the river's native Yellowstone cutthroats.
What do you mean if I'm lucky?
Well, actually, Brian, the South Fork of the Snake is one of the last great remaining native Yellowstone cutthroat trout fisheries anywhere in the world, and the Foundation's working hard on issues to make sure it stays that way.
Issues?
Well, there's a number of things like spawning habitat, water flow, and the encroachment of non-native species.
Well, what's being done about it?
Well, the Foundation's working hard with local grassroots organizations who can put money to work effectively to make sure those issues are addressed, such as the improvement of spawning habitat, making sure there's enough flows in the river for the fish, and making sure that the non-native species don't threaten the cutthroat long term.
Well, the river looks pretty active and healthy.
You bet it is, and we're working hard to make sure it stays that way.
Well, guys, let's grab our rods and go do some fishing.
All right.
Nice job, nice job. Okay, now mend your line.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by mend the line.
Well, let me show you here. What you want to do is with your rod tip, draw a big half circle over the water, lifting your line up and over just like that. Now, see, your line and your fly are in a position that you can get a good drift. That's it. Now point right at the fly with your rod tip, just like that. Okay, now you're looking good. You're looking good. You're looking good.
All right.
Okay, and mend your line. Perfect. Now come back and point at the fly. Good. Looking good. Now we just have to talk the fish into eating it. Not bad, cast. Yeah. Okay, now strip in just a little line, and we'll let that one ride. That's in a pretty good spot. So let him ride. Let's see. Hey!
Boy, this guy's a fighter. Man, he's a big one.
Very nice. Very nice. Get that rod tip up. When his head comes up on the surface, I'll jump up with the net, Brian, and we'll try and...
Right there he is. Right there he is. I got him.
Get his head up on the surface.
I got him. He's coming underneath the oar.
We almost had him there.
Come on, buddy.
Now slide him over. There he is. Oh, we got him.
Go, Brian!
All right.
Whoa! Don't lose my fish! All right.
Well, that's what you're after in the event right there.
Look at that big
One
guy.
of these wild German browns.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Got a good set on him,
Nice
too.
job.
All right. All right. Come on, big guy.
Now, the best thing to do before a tournament is to kiss him and for good luck.
All right.
Just kidding. It's just an old... There you go. Well, good work, partner.
All right.
Well, hey, guys, it's starting to get late. It's been a great day of fishing, and our takeout's up on the next corner, so we probably better start thinking about heading in.
Oh, you're kidding me. I could stay out here all night.
Brian, I think you're ready. You're looking good. You're going to have a great day tomorrow. We probably should head back and get some rest.
All right, what kind of fly do you think I ought to use tomorrow?
You know, you did well with the one you've got on right now, so I think I'd recommend that you use the Chernobyl Ann. It floats well, it's easy to see, and you had great luck with it today. Now, before we get in, you're going to want to go into this red bag here behind you, and we've got your registration papers and your team shirt, and you're going to want to grab that before we get in and on the takeout.
Oh, okay. Any last words of advice?
You know, I'll tell you, I think you're ready, and you're fishing well. I think our team's going to have a great day, and I'd just do what you did today.
Yeah, you're looking good. Looking good. Well, let's reel them up, guys, and head on in.
All right.
Well, there's a couple fishermen. Howdy, gentlemen. I'm Scott Hocking, your guide for the one fly today.
Morning.
You must be Brian Hyder, Don Glazer?
No, actually, I'm Don Glazer. This must be Brian.
Yeah, you got that right. So, Don, what team are you fishing for today?
I'm fishing with the Nifwif Stoneflies.
Nifwif Foundation, isn't that who I'm fishing for?
Well, actually, Nifwif has two teams in this event. They have the Stoneflies and they have the Drifters. You must be on the Drifters. That makes us opponents for the event.
Well, who's going to keep us honest?
Well, that'd be my job, Brian. I'm the guy in the middle. Looks like you fellas are ready to go fishing, so maybe we should get after it.
Great.
It's a little before the 8:30 starting time. Any fish we do catch prior to that, we can't count, but we can go ahead and start fishing.
Where do you want us to sit?
Let's put you up front, Brian, and we'll have Don stay here in the back.
Okay.
When you guys catch a fish, you know I get a cigar.
I fell into that yesterday with that kiss of fish thing, and I'm not buying it again.
You're not?
No.
Oh.
You get no cigar from me. So how long have you been a professional guide?
This will be 20 years this season. People have been paying me to do this.
Now, who's responsible for measuring my fish?
Well, I'm going to help with that, Brian. I'm going to put you on the fish. I'm going to help measure them, and then we'll let the judges figure out the score.
Do all the fish I catch count for my total score?
Well, actually, no. We're just going to measure your 8 best fish, and of those, 6 will count.
How does this scoring work?
That's real straightforward. The bigger the fish, the more the points. And if you keep your fly all day or land more than 30, you'll get bonus points.
Yeah, one of my teammates told me that if I catch a cutthroat trout, that's worth more points.
Well, trout are the only fish that are going to count towards points in this contest. Whitefish don't count. And to that end, we're going to fish barbless and put these trout back just as frisky as when we hooked them. If you do injure one, though, I'm going to have to penalize you.
I guess that's fair.
Well, sure it is. These trout are my clients just the same as you are today. I think you guys are looking pretty warmed up. It's about 8:30 here. Let's get your game face on.
That sun may come out after all. So, what happens when the sun comes out? Do fish see the fly better?
Absolutely.
So how's my competition doing back there?
Oh, about as well as you.
Don, do you get to spend a lot of time in Wyoming?
Well, yeah, actually, as a Westerner, I've spent a lot of time in Wyoming over the last 25 years.
Oh, I love this area. These low-lying flatlands, I bet it's great for wildlife.
Oh, yeah, this is big country, and it's just full of wildlife. You can see moose down here along the river, and elk are really prevalent. This big bird country, too. You're going to see bald eagles and osprey, see white pelicans down here. From time to time, you're going to see a bear down along the river.
Oh, do you get grizzlies around this area?
We had a sow grizzly with 3 cubs right here just a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah? I bet they love these high peaks.
Yeah, this certainly is high country.
Wonder how high these peaks are.
Well, 4 or 5 of them are going to be over 10,000 feet. In fact, Mount Moran's over 12,000. Grand Tetons, 13,772.
Is that the highest peak in the state?
No, actually, Gannett Peak would be the highest peak in the state. It's about 30 feet higher.
I love this big country.
Yeah, this is great country, but actually, I just think you're trying to keep me away from the competition. We better get at it or we're going to let our teams down.
All right.
Hey, team, how we doing?
Don, how long have you been involved in this event?
Well, this is my first year as a participant, Brian.
Oh, yeah? So how long has the event been going on?
Well, this is its 17th year. It started as a small local event and has grown in stature to be recognized both nationally and internationally. Has participants from the United States, Canada, Australia, and even New Zealand.
You guys must be raising a lot of money.
More and more each year.
Where does the money go?
Well, it's predominantly spent in the upper Snake River drainage here on water quality and habitat projects for Snake River cutthroat trout.
That sounds good. You know, I was thrilled to be invited to this event.
Yeah, me too. It's a great honor to be associated with the One Fly. Great place to meet new people. And I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to coming back next year and reacquainting myself with my new friends.
Hey, gentlemen, let's try a little bank fishing over here.
That
Great.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Don't want to come way back like you're, going to cast again.
Well, how about we try another spot?
Sure enough. Work this bank out, then I'll land on the right up here, and we'll walk down and fish this little side channel. Hey, Brian, how's it going up there?
About the same. Scott, what's that blue thing you've been carrying around?
Well, after you hook that 16-incher, we're going to measure him with this. First, we'll net him, bring him over into this calm water, and then we can put the fish right up here head first, and wherever that tail ends up, we'll be able to mark our score. In half-inch increments, the judges will round up a little when we get back. This way, we can keep some water on the fish and release him unharmed.
Looks like a pretty good system.
Well, it is, Brian. I just wish we'd used it a little bit more today. You know, with that rain that came through here, we've lost some visibility. We've had some silt coming in from the tributaries and all. I do have a little rock garden area here I'd like to show you. I think we could have some luck there.
Well, that sounds good.
All right, I'll get Don and we'll get going.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, it's 4:30. That's the end of the tournament for today.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, I know time goes fast out here in the water, but you guys have been fishing hard in some pretty tough conditions. I think we ought to just spool them up and head for the barn.
Okay.
I'll get the boat.
You know, Don, this is almost embarrassing. I haven't caught anything all day.
Well, Brian, that's okay. Neither have I. but we still both take 25 points home for our team.
Well, yeah, how's that?
Well, we kept the same fly all day, so we're in the bonus points.
Oh, that's right. You know, I can't imagine a more beautiful setting than what I've seen here today for fly fishing. Hopefully, when I get back to event headquarters, my teammates are among the leaders. But in the end, this event is all about a good time for a great cause. I'd like to thank my teammates, Nancy and Dave and Steve and Mark. I'd like to thank Don for being such a great boat mate, and Scott for keeping me out of the weeds and the rocks. We've still got tomorrow to see which team is going to be king of the river, but we'll see you on the next Trailside.
To order home videos of this or any other Trailside program, or to order a Trailside guidebook, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE.